Good morning, Nebraska high school football fans. Welcome to Prep Huddle Live, and we have Tony here in the flesh, not on a Google Hangout. We are in Henderson at Hashtag in our studio here, and excited to have you be joining us for our playoff show, talk about football playoffs, and a lot of the brackets NSAA has already released. We didn't know that was going to happen, Tony, so we're excited for the show. We're going to break down each class of all of our Striv schools, and we'll start at the top with Class A and just kind of break it down, and we look forward to next week to getting these games underway. So.
Yeah, it should be fun. You know, we got a great game with Aurora and York last night for our game of the week, and now it's playoff season, so it's do or die, win and go home, and this is the fun part of the year. So we'll get started Thursday night with 8-man, probably Thursday afternoon actually, and then Friday we'll have 11-man all Friday this year for the first time with the change to Class C. So it should be fun. I think we're ready to go. We've got Class A up on the board, and I'll walk up there and walk us through Class A really quick. As expected, the number one seed there on the top left is Omaha North, of course, the defending state champions. Calvin Strong, the great tailback for those guys, commit to South Dakota. Leads them, and a lot of people expect that those two undefeated teams, the other one down here in the bottom right corner, Millard North, are on a kind of a collision course to the finals there. So Omaha North will play Lincoln Southwest in the first round on Friday. Norfolk and Kearney will be a rematch of a game that was last night that Kearney won at Foster Field in Kearney. And some people maybe have seen it as an upset, but Norfolk did lose their starting quarterback to an ACL injury, and so that'll be a rematch. My guy Jeff Tomlin and the Islanders over in Grand Island, their only loss to Omaha West Side, and there's a possibility that they might see them in the second round. They'll face Columbus at home, and then Millard West, a Striv school, at 6-3, and they lost their first two games of the year to Omaha North and Millard North, so they've been kind of on a run since then, and they've got the 5th seed, and will play Omaha West Side. And then the 3 seed up top is Creighton Prep, and again, believe their only loss is to Omaha North as well. They'll play Omaha Burke, who I think I should have looked before we went on air, but I think Omaha Burke has won 4 in a row after an 0-5 start. Other school, Omaha Central, their Nebraska recruit Deshaun Neal, they will play Lincoln East, and that will be. Ironically, that's the only game that will be in Lincoln in Class A, which is a rarity. So looks like all of these other games. So you'll have looks like 5 games in Omaha, a game in Grand Island, a game in Norfolk, and a game in Lincoln. And then Bellevue West will play Papillion La Vista South, and then again Millard North will play Bellevue East, and those games are on Friday. And you'll probably have one afternoon game there in Class A for sure, is Millard West and Millard North. Will both host games, so they'll play at Buell Stadium. And usually I think the Millard rule there is the high seed gets to pick when they want to play. So my guess is you'd see probably a 7 or 7:30 kickoff for Millard North and maybe an afternoon game for Millard West. So that's Class A. And, I really think after Omaha North and Millard North, you've got some teams. Grand Island made a run to the semifinals last year, and really they almost had Omaha North beat. That was a great football game last year on semifinal Friday. And I think Creighton Prep, and this is kind of an interesting bracket up here. You could even maybe possibly see a chance where Omaha Central might have a chance to do some things there if they can maybe get by Lincoln East, and you never know with the game with Creighton Prep there as well. So Class A again appears to be top heavy with 1 and 2 there, but they got to play the games, as they say. So we'll see how it goes. I think Taylor, you want to maybe go right into the Class B bracket then, and we can
hold up and
we can switch that over, and then. We got Coach Snodgrass from York here in studio, so we'll maybe talk about the Class B bracket here really quick. And we kind of had a shakeup last night. Really, you can do what you want with the math, but you got to play the games on the field. And so Gretna lost to Elkhorn South. So you see Gretna, the 2 seed down there. Elkhorn South will be the 5 seed. Elkhorn South beat them 42-35 last night. And Gretna's lost their quarterback 2 weeks ago, and so it'll be interesting to see the situation there. Omaha Skutt then beat Elkhorn 24-21, and that got them back to the top of the board there. So they're the 1 seed, and they'll play Waverly, who actually was not even in the top 16 in the point standings, but is a district champion at 4-5. And I think the Vikings have also won 4 in a row since an 0-5 start. You see Seward out of District 6. They'll host Sidney. Both teams 7-2 there. Aurora, the 3rd team from District 6 to get in, will in a Striv school. They'll travel out to Scotts Bluff, and that's a rematch game. That Scotts Bluff beat Aurora just the week after they had upset McCook, and so that'll be a game that Aurora, they turned it over a bunch against Scotts Bluff, I think, the first time, and if maybe they can take care of it, you never know what can happen out there. Elkhorn South and Beatrice. Of course, Beatrice was preseason number 2 by most of the newspapers, so that should be an interesting game. And then up to the top right, we have McCook playing Omaha Gross. McCook Striv school as well. They're 8-1. Again, their lone loss is to Aurora. They beat Scotts Bluff. They also beat Sidney and won their district. Crete will play Blair. Blair and Scotts Bluff have the longest winning streaks in the state, both at 6 games right now. Blair had an 0-3 start. They lost to Elkhorn and Gretna and Seward in their first 3 games, and they've rounded off 6 in a row, including a win against Omaha Skutt, which kind of gives you an idea how wide open Class B is. So Elkhorn will play York, and we'll have Coach Snodgrass here in a second. And that is both of those teams 7-2, and then Gretna will host Lincoln Pius. That's almost also a rematch game from earlier this year. So we'll go ahead, and we've got Coach Snodgrass here, and maybe talk through this Class B bracket a little bit, Coach. But like we just said, and we talked last night, gosh, you look up there and see anywhere from 1 to probably 13 could maybe come through this thing. What are your thoughts on the next few weeks and what they hold?
Yeah, Class B is so balanced. I mean, out of any Class B from top to bottom is there's just a lot of parity there in any team, and I look up there at those brackets you just went through, and man, I see 10, 12 teams up there that wouldn't surprise me, if they went a long ways. And so it's just it's there in Class B football. You never have an easy week. I mean, you never have a week you can just let down, because it's very, very balanced from top to bottom.
Talk about your guys. I know that struggle early as you had battled some injuries. Like you said, you were a match unit there for a while, and then kind of battled some turnover problems early in the year. But won 6 in a row, and got to be feeling good about how you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, we were a very young team. We weren't sure who our quarterback was going to be going right up into the first game of the season. And so we're starting a sophomore quarterback, but all across the board we're a young team. And early on we really battled turnover issues a lot. We turned it over 10 times in our 2 losses against Norris, and against in our 2 losses there, Norris and Pius. And that's something, our turnover ratio, we've kind of got fixed a little bit right now. We've got our penalty issues fixed up a little bit, and we're kind of getting a little bit more healthy. We lost a great player, Mitchell Friesen, in the off season to a torn ACL, and he hasn't played it down all year. But Jonah Odie, been hurt all season long. We felt like he was one of the best players in the state in Class B. He's been playing, but he's really never been 100% all season long. Our Grant Siddharth, our starting left tackle, hasn't played defense because of a hurt knee. And so we have been beat up, but man, just the character and just the grit and the guts that these kids have showed have been amazing, and they've just gotten better every week, and that's our goal. We want to be playing our best at the end, and I think right now we are.
Talk about Elkhorn and what you know about them just off the surface. Obviously, Coach Wortman does it right up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a great traditional program. It's they've been great for a long time, and so we played them 2 years ago at our place, and so we kind of have an idea what they're going to do. I haven't got a chance to look at any film yet. We'll get on that here shortly after I take off here, but from here. But they're going to be a very, very physical, very, very well coached team that's not going to make mistakes. On the surface, when you look at their offense, it seems like a very, very simple, basic offense. But then when you get into it, It's not. I mean, it puts you in some very difficult situations. They're not going to run a bunch of formations. They're not. We're coming off of playing Aurora, who has 57 formations, to playing Elkhorn, who's probably going to have 2. And so from that standpoint, it's going to be a little easier. But the things they do, there's going to be one kid on our defense or more who are just going to be in a bad situation regardless of what play they run. So it's a very good team, but we're excited to go down there and play them.
And we see Elkhorn and Elkhorn South both hosting games. You feel like probably going to be a matinee game Friday is your thought?
Yeah, we haven't made anything official yet, but it sounds like it's probably going to be a 3:00 game, I think, and that's fine. It might cut down the crowd a little bit, but I'm pretty confident that the York faithful will follow us down there. Boy, it's that crowd that shows up every week, comes out of the woodwork at York, and it's an amazing crowd, and I'm pretty sure they'll all make it down to Elkhorn.
Coach, we wrote this morning in the Rewind that there's a 5th season in York, and it's playoff season, kind of that. The last 2 years have really been exciting, and I know you are still fond of that game you lost against Elkhorn, and just kind of the atmosphere in York, and talk about that game, what you remember about that game and how it helped you last year, and how it's maybe even propelled your program this year as well. Yeah,
it was an amazing game. That was the first time, and we played some great teams that year. Elkhorn, kind of the gold standard almost in Class B. I mean, they're a big-time program. And 2 years ago, for our kids and our fans to experience us playing with and being right down to the wire with them and almost beating them, that gave them all the, there's no reason why we can't be one of the best teams in Class B. The atmosphere at that game was just amazing. We ended up losing by about this far. We missed a 4th down and a couple inches there. And that propelled us into last year. And last season, our theme all year was earn that extra inch. Our season ended on about an inch on that 4th down. And so our theme was earn that extra inch with every rep you do in the weight room, every sprint you do in the summer, every practice rep. And it really did propel us into last year. So it was a very memorable game. Even though we lost that game, I felt like it really, like you said, propelled our program.
And I know you talked last night on the radio, as I heard you'd like to get those seniors maybe one more chance to play in the old baseball field again, wouldn't you? And this would be the way to do it, obviously, if there'd be a way to get a win. Yeah. Talk about the seniors that you've got on this team and what they've given you the last 4 years.
Yeah, they're great athletes, but more importantly, they're amazing kids. The character that those kids have, I mean, they're great in the classroom. They're great on and off the field. I mean, we talk a lot about setting the standard for how you act, setting the standard for leadership, setting the standard for how you behave in the classroom, towards your teachers, towards your parents, towards people in the community, and they have done an amazing job of setting a great example for the young kids on how to set the standard. I'm not even talking about football or athletics. I'm talking about great high-character kids. And that's the first thing we always look for at York. We try and make great kids first, great students second, and then great athletes. And so they have been great kids. This has been the first year that we had 0 academic ineligibilities. 65 kids in the team, we've had 0. And so they're getting it done in the classroom. And boy, great athletes, just tougher than nails, guts, heart, all that stuff. I talked about Jonah Odie and Grant Siddharth earlier. I mean, those kids, Jonah's been playing with one shoulder for 6 weeks now. Grant's got a hurt knee that most kids wouldn't even think about playing. He's played in 2 games now and played very well. So I absolutely love them. I wouldn't trade those seniors for any other group in the state.
Awesome. Well, I know it's a big challenge. You probably got a lot of film to break down, and no college football for you on Saturday. You'll probably be diving into Huddle here really quick. So we appreciate you taking some time with us, and we look forward to watching you guys hopefully for more than one more week.
Yeah. I'll have Elkhorn on my computer, and I'll have the Huskers on my TV.
There you go.
So we'll watch them both. So thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll get back into Class C1 brackets. Tony will break that down as we got several Striv schools in the C1 bracket. And we'll hear from our sponsor, Cornerstone Bank, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Okay, we're back here with our playoff preview show, and we're going to go into C1 and C2 brackets here real quick. Taylor's going to join me. We're going to bounce this one around a little bit because this one is loaded with Striv School, so this will be fun. They'll probably keep us on our toes here. Friday night. So we'll start right at the top. Ashland Greenwood is 9-0, and they are number 2 in the state right now in the rankings. And they played in the state finals last year, of course, losing to Cozad. And, of course, now this year is the first time in Class C we're in a non-geographic bracket. So last year it was 32 schools. They've pared it down to 16 this year. And they'll play they're basically just seeded 1 through 16. Ashland Greenwood, the Blue Jays, will play Central City, who sneaks in. So happy for Troy Hubert and his kids over there. Quite the rebuilding project that they've done, and they're a Striv school. And really, you look at their losses, Taylor. I think Kearney Catholic in their district, Grand Island Central Catholic in their district, and I believe Columbus SCOTUS is the third loss there. So they've played a really tough schedule. So Wilbur Claytonia, another Striv school, is the 8th seed at 9-0. Just to kind of give you an idea how good Class C1 is. They, I believe, were ranked 5th maybe last week, 4th or 5th, and they'll host Grand Island Central Catholic. Of course, the Crusaders have Johanna Gaffon, Division I recruit, who will be going and playing football at Wyoming, and Grand Island Central Catholic really kind of propelled themselves into the playoffs with an upset a couple weeks ago of Kearney Catholic. So that's a ratings matchup there. Both of those teams are ranked. That'll be in the first round. And then, of course, we take geography out of the equation, and what happens? The two westernmost teams get to play each other. So Chadron will play Ogallala in the 5-12 game. And then Cozad, another Striv school, will host Fort Calhoun, who got into the playoffs last night with a win over Omaha Christian Academy. They are 6-3. So we look at the left side of that bracket. We've got 3 Striv schools over there, if I'm doing the math right.
And returning state champions.
The returning both the finalists then on this side of the bracket. So a possible matchup in the semifinals that would be a rematch of the state finals. Would be a rematch of the state finals last year. So with Ashland Greenwood and Cozad possibly on that side of the bracket. So move over here to the bottom or the right bracket, whatever you want to call it. We have Columbus SCOTUS as the 3 seed there. They're 8-1. They've won 8 in a row. Their first loss this year was their first game of the year against Boone Central Newman Grove. They'll play Pierce, Perennial Power there in the 3-14 game, and then Kearney Catholic will play Boys Town in the 6-11 game. Again, Kearney Catholic's only loss to Grand Island Central Catholic. The Stars also beat Cozad 27-20 in a game earlier this year. I believe I saw Buck Mahoney on Twitter from the Kearney Hub tweeted that this game will be a 6 o'clock kickoff in Kearney already. And then how about this third-ranked Norfolk Catholic who basically played Boone Central Newman Grove. We had about 2,000 people watch that game on Striv on Thursday night. That was a 1-3 game, and there's a chance it could be a quarterfinal matchup. In in Class C1. So this is number 1, Boone Central Newman Grove, number 3, Norfolk Catholic, based on the playoff points, how that worked out. And that would be a game that, if both of those teams were to win, would again be in Albion. Would be in Albion if we had that work out that way. So C1 is just going to be wide open
fun
again. Yeah, it should be really fun. As we get kickoffs, we'll post those on the website, and and see kind of we'll follow our schools there. So I think maybe we want to I'll let you walk in front of me here, and we'll move up to bring up Class C2 really quick. Then again, Class C2 made the same change that C1 did. Again, they shrunk that playoff format down to 16 teams, and there's not no geography again on this one. So they'll do seed them out 1 through 16. We have 10 district champs, and 6 wild cards in there. So the top left there, the number 1 seed is Battle Creek. They've been number 1 all year, 9-0, and this is actually they played Lutheran High Northeast last night. Game, I believe it was only like 7-0 at halftime, and then Battle Creek pulled away for a 35-7 win. The 8-9 game will be Fremont Bergen and Malcolm. Malcolm is their one loss to Striv School Fillmore Central, who you see on the right side of the bracket here in a couple minutes. David City Aquinas, Perennial Power, will play Gibbon in the first round there in David City, and then Hastings St. Cecilia, who we saw last week, will host Wymore Southern at Duncan Field on Friday night. So a lot of parochial school flavor on the left side of the bracket there. Really expect that one in the first round to probably be pretty chalky. I'd expect some great round of 8 quarterfinal games there with Battle Creek, Fremont Bergen, Aquinas, and St. Cecilia on that side of the bracket. So we move over to the right side of the bracket here. You have Freeman at 8-1. They actually moved up from 8-man. They played 8-man football last year, and they'll play Stanton and host Stanton in the first round, and then Sutton. Our guy Noah Johnson there, we 3rd in the nation, we believe, in rushing. Through 9 games, he has 2,674 yards, another 304 yards, I believe, last night, and 6 touchdowns in a win against Superior. They'll play Hardington Cedar Catholic. And I've got to do Hardington Cedar Catholic up north. I think their 2 losses are to Aquinas and to Battle Creek, if I'm not mistaken. So they've played, obviously, probably a really tough schedule. My guess is that might be a game that would be done in less than 2 hours. There'll probably be a lot of running the football in that one, Taylor Siebert. So Fillmore Central, congratulations to those kids down in Geneva. At 7-2, they will travel and play Oakland Craig. 8-1, and the Panthers won the district title with a late field goal against Malcolm last week. So both of those teams are in the playoffs. And Fillmore Central, 2 good losses there. I believe St. Cecilia is one of the losses, and Freeman early in the year are their 2 losses.
Yeah,
so
they didn't play Sutton.
Yep, so both the playoff teams there. And then Southern Valley, the Eagles get in, as the 15 seed, basically off that win last night against defending state champion Doniphan Trumbull, who finished the season 5-4. And they'll play North Platte St. Pat's, who I believe they played early in the year prior to districts. And so it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out. Southern Valley last night, Brendan Chapman, I think is his name. If I mispronounce it, I apologize. But I believe I read 28 carries for 204 yards in that win against Doniphan Trumbull. So 21-14, they beat the Cardinals in Doniphan. And good for those guys that they get in the bracket. So C2, again, multiple possibilities here. Really like Battle Creek. St. Cecilia and Aquinas, that seems like, that's a game that could be, in Lincoln, every other year or something. So some good stuff there. And then really be interested to see this Sutton Hardington Cedar Catholic game. We know they always play good football in Northeast Nebraska, and so to have Hardington come down and play in Sutton, that'll be an interesting game to see how they can if they can somehow contain Noah Johnson and the running game that Sutton presents. But saw North Platte St. Pat's last year play Doniphan Trumbull in there as Doniphan Trumbull was winning the state title, and that's a team that's got a lot of kids back too. So some interesting matchups as you work your way through. But I love the 16-team playoff bracket. I love that I don't see 4-4 and 3-5 on the records here, and it's just any game here, can go either way. So C2 and C1 should both be pretty fun, I think. Yeah.
And we'll have, just a reminder, and we can have a seat here as we transition. Yep. We'll have all these brackets posted on Striv Sports, and we're going to have, as soon as we find out all the times of the games with that along, and then we're going to make them printable so you can print them out for your school and get those out and on the web, put them on Twitter and everything. So we are running ahead of schedule. Tony's talking really fast here.
Awesome. I should slow down, I guess.
So we've got a couple. Our most loaded guests here are Class D1 coming up next, and we're going to have Coach Houghton from Fullerton join us via Google Hangouts, and we're going to work on getting him connected. And then Coach Wetchin from Heartland had to run to Kearney to get his boat, so he's running late with Husker traffic, I think, so he's not going to be able to join us. And then Coach Rodder from BDS should be rolling in here in a little bit. So we're going to take a break and just put up the graphic. Don't go away. We've got Class D1, D2 yet to go through, and some coaches' interviews, as I mentioned. We'll get those connected and be right back. Thanks for tuning in here on Prep Huddle Live. If you want to tweet us some questions too that you have for Tony about some of these matchups, maybe some predictions, Tony, if you want to, put you on the spot.
Awesome.
Use the hashtag Prep Huddle Live or hashtag Striv Sports, or tweet at Striv Sports. Love to hear from you guys that are watching us live here as you're tailgating for the Husker game or hanging out with family. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're back, and we're ready to dive into the Class D1 bracket, and this is loaded with Striv schools, so we think this is going to be a great time, and we're going to be joined with one of the coaches on the west side and the east side here in a couple minutes. So Creighton is the number 1 seed out west, and they will host Twin Loop. Creighton is ranked 3rd in Class D1 right now. Elgin Public, Elgin Pope John will host Neely Oakdale in the 8-9 game, and then in the 5-12 game we have Elm Creek and Arapahoe, and then Burwell and Perkins County will be in the 4-13 game. Up on the right-hand side, the 3rd seed is Hemingford. Hemingford is actually a top-ranked team in the state. They went to the state finals last year, and they will host Shelton in the first round. And then the winner of that game will play Blue Hill, and North Central, which would be 6-11 game. And then down here on the bottom, we have Amherst at 7-1. We'll play Ansley Litchfield, who is 5-3, and we have Fullerton 8-0. Will host on Thursday. They will host Sutherland in a first round game. Again, 8-man is still geography based bracket. So these are the 16 teams that were the furthest west. The qualifying process is 10 district champions and 22 wild cards as set by the NSAA. So these are the furthest west 16 teams, and we're joined now by Fullerton coach Ryan Houghton to preview the Warriors. And Coach, thanks for being with us. It's been kind of a really fun season for you guys, 8-0, and I know you're happy with how your guys have played, and kind of almost 2 playoff games these last 2 weeks to get you ready. Talk about the last few weeks since we last saw you and how you feel like your guys are playing headed into the playoffs.
Well, thanks for having us, first of all, Tony. I appreciate being on the show.
You bet.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks we've had some really tough teams. I mean, you talk House Doc, you know what you're going to get with that team. Physicality every night, well coached, and team is ready to go. That was an overtime battle, one where we had to come back to win. We were down at times and came back and finished off the game well in overtime. Big win for the championship. First one we've had in 11 years. We were riding pretty high after that game, but came back on a short week and had to play a tough High Plains team. They have lost four games, but only of those 4 teams, only 1 loss amongst all those 4 teams that they lost to. So we feel like we've played 2 of the better teams in D1 football here the last couple weeks, and this should make us playoff tested.
I know it's early, but anything just looking off of their schedule or anything that you might know about Sutherland?
You know, to be honest with you, not really. We don't know a whole lot about Sutherland. We haven't seen any crossover with common opponents. And just throughout watching a lot of film this year, a number of games haven't come across Sutherland. So can't really speak too much to that yet. You know, the brackets for D1 just came out here within the hour, and but it won't take long for us to start breaking them down and seeing what they're about. We expect them to be a great football team, and when any playoffs start, it's lose and go home. So teams play with a lot of urgency and a lot of heart, because some of the seniors, that's their last game.
I know we've done a few stories on your team. The Grand Island Independent has done a few stories on your team. Obviously, you've got a kid running the football in Garrett Sondrup who is having kind of one of those magical dream seasons. And talk about the effort he had on Friday night behind your line. Obviously, everybody's playing well for you, but gave it to him 40 times, and he had 484 yards and against High Plains. And I guess just talk about the season he's had and how the line's been playing.
Well, yeah, magical season is right, but it's been a great team effort. I mean, we think we got a good scheme, and running the football is something that's very important to us. So when you've got that instilled into your kids' mind, your line is blocking well, your ends are hooking kids and being athletic. The quarterback isn't making mistakes. He's putting the ball where it needs to. And we've got a tremendous fullback that cleans things up when the offensive line doesn't get hats on hats. So Saunders had a tremendous night the other night, 40 carries. After the game, we were kind of surprised that there was that many carries and that many yards, but just how it was. A lot of plays. We had 72 total plays, and 40 of them went through him. And just one of those nights I'm sure he'll never forget.
I didn't get to watch all of the game, but was maybe the biggest play he had, not a run, but a little halfback pass you threw on 4th and 8 there. That sealed it away for you because it's still a one-possession game there if you don't convert on that play.
Yeah, that was big. We thought their defense was really, they're putting 7 guys in the box and really sneaking up. We thought we could do it in practice. It looks good. And he threw it, and it kind of slipped out of his hands. And Gage Horick is a great athlete and a big body, and he went out and got it in traffic to seal the deal. And Saunders kind of got knocked down on his tail, and he was sitting on the ground, and he just kind of looked at me and put his hands up like that because he knew he threw a pretty bad ball, almost a comebacker. And, it worked out. And when that play hit, we knew we kind of had it because we had four cracks inside the 5, and we're going to get in on that most generally.
Well, Coach, it's been fun to follow you guys. One thing that my dad as a coach always said was that you run the ball and you stop the run, you're probably going to win a lot of games. So as the weather gets bad and stuff, you're probably ready for that type of drill here the next few weeks, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that. We talked that in film session yesterday. We said it'll be more likely that we're going to be playing in sleet and cold and rain and snow somewhere in this playoff run than have it nice and warm like it's been here lately. The weather is going to change, and we think our football team is fit pretty well to handle all types of weather, hunkered in behind our line, and it's a windy night. That toss sweep won't be affected so much by that strong wind.
Exactly. Well, hey, thanks for being with us, and we hope that your run is another 4 weeks here, and we'll try to see as many of them as we can. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Go
Okay.
Warriors.
Thanks, Ryan. Take care. All right, I think we're going to cut again to another commercial, and we're going to get the East bracket up in D1, and we'll have Mark Rotter from Bruning Davenport Shickley join us live in studio. Stay with us. Thanks.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
You got East. Okay.
Okay, we are back, and we are ready to go through the East bracket on the D1 side, and talk through that really quick. Whole bunch of really good football teams here that can make a run to Lincoln. So the top seed is Friend. They have the most points in the state. They're top seed overall. They'll play Cross County, who is 3-5 in the first round on Thursday. High Plains, a Striv school, they're the 9 seed, and I don't know if they were ranked in the last in the rankings 10th, and they're probably about as good a 4-4 team as you can be. Their losses to Fullerton, to Heartland, to BDS, and gosh, I'm missing one. I can't remember. Guardian Angels, Central Catholic are their losses. So, and they're the 5 seed. They will play Pawnee City And then the 4-13 game is Howell Dodge against Cedar Bluff. So Guardian Angels, Central Catholic, and Howell Dodge played each other in the regular season, and that could be a possible round of 16 matchup there in D1. Over on the right-hand side of the bracket, we have Striv School Heartland, who is 8-0, have scored not less than 50 points in any game this season, and they will play Nebraska City Lords, who is 4-4. Striv School Clarkson Lee is in the playoffs at 4-4. They will play Hardington Newcastle, who is 6-2. That'll be a game in Hardington, I believe. And then down here on the bottom, we have Bloomfield at 6-2. We'll play Scribner Snyder at 6-2. Scribner Snyder, an interesting team. They gave Guardian Angels probably their best game of the year in a 24-20 game earlier this year. And then down here, the 2 seed is 7-1 Bruning Davenport Shickley, and they will host Omaha Christian Academy on Thursday in the first round. And their lone loss is to top-seeded Friend. And we're joined in studio right now by Bruning Davenport Shickley coach Mark Roeder. And Coach, it's playoff time again, and the Eagles know about the playoffs. I think this is the 11th year in a row for you guys, and so turn it into
who's counting?
right, yeah.
I want to thank the Fullerton coach for bringing up the High Plains losses. There's the all undefeated teams except one. That one team would be us.
Yeah.
A loss.
Well, that was a fun football game to be at earlier this year. That would be your game against High Plains. Well, you guys, it's something like that. It was pretty close. I think it was Saturday when I got home. So
It was.
talk about since we've seen you. I hate to have you relive old battle wounds, but it sounded like you played just a really fun football game against Friend. I know you came out on the short side of it, but you both scored in the last minute. And how did that go? And I guess would you like to play them again at some point?
Fun is a word that I don't know if I would use to describe it. I mean, it was a wild game, especially the last 3 minutes of the game, but it was for the district championship too. So I mean, we had won 3 straight district titles, so fun is not a word I would use to describe anything that happened in that last 3 minutes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Talk about how your guys are playing and if you're healthy and how things are as you feel them going into the playoffs.
We played pretty well against Pawnee City. We played well that night. We've been struggling a bit lately. We're beat up. We're really, really beat up, and so we just got to get healthy. And it still might be a couple-week process. We don't think we have any. We have one guy maybe out for the season, but we have a couple others that, I mean, we are beat up, and they may not play Thursday night. So I mean, we're trying to get healthy, but that's been a big issue right now.
Talk about I know the one guy we always talk about is Grant Norder, who's been your quarterback and plays that kind of free safety back there for you on defense. And talk about the season he's had and just the leadership I guess you've got from your senior class this year.
Well, our whole senior bunch, we've had excellent leadership. A lot of times we feel like we don't even need to be there, that they could run a practice. They clean up everything after we're done. They organize things, take care of things. So they've been a great bunch to work with. They worked very hard all summer. Not just them, but all of our kids in the weight room. They've worked very hard. So we've had almost no chemistry type of problems. So it's been a great group to work with. So hopefully we can have a few more games to enjoy working with them.
Yeah. Coach, talk about just looking at the bracket. I'm sure you probably don't know much about Omaha Christian Academy, but talk about maybe the first two.
Well, the bracket in general, and I talk to a lot of people. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So most people that we've talked to, we feel there's about 10 teams on that bracket. About 10 teams that are all about the same. Coming off here. This is just our opinion, but most of the guys we've talked to in the East, there's about 10 teams that are very similar, and then there's Henderson up above all of us is what we think. I mean, that's just people may be mad at me saying that, but there's a bunch of us, Howells, Gack, Scribner, Snyder, Friend, High Plains, just about 10 of us that seem to be about here, but anybody that's seen Heartland play is like, wow. So they have to be the favorite in the East.
Well, Taylor and I were talking last night. It's kind of our dream that you guys play each other. I don't know if it's your dream.
It's not a dream of mine.
No nightmare.
But that's one we would certainly like to see. And we've
had a good rivalry. We played them 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
So I mean, their kids know our kids. We know, and we played them in basketball too. So it's been kind of a good rivalry, if you will. So, but there's a long way for both teams before you'd even have to worry about it.
Talk about some keys for you guys, obviously, in this run. We talked with Coach Houghton, their team that's built around the run. I think you would prefer to do it that way.
Everything he
well.
said, none of that applies to us. So he was talking about bad weather. We're praying for a nice warm night with no wind. He was talking about his running back having 40 carries. It would take our backs 4 games to get 40 carries. So we're very different than that. We probably pass and run about the same, about a 50-50 mix. So we do need good weather, and he's got a great back. So, I mean, we spread it out. We have 3 or 4 backs that carry the ball, and then Norder carries it a lot too. So, I mean, ours is very different. We throw it a lot. So, I mean, his is very different than what we do. So, yeah, everything he said, it's very different. So, I don't know if I'm answering your question or not.
That's okay. Again, as we've looked at D1 all year, it seems like there are probably 8 to 10 teams even that have a good chance, and like you said, some on both sides. But we look forward to the next few weeks. We think it's going to be fun. We hope we get to watch you a few times and maybe have you on another show here before
we love
the
doing
playoffs
the show.
go over.
A big Striv TV show. We
Excellent.
love it. Everybody down there loves it. We love everything about Striv TV.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great you live here since your wife works up just kind of halfway point.
She's at Cross County, which is also a Striv school,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
And also in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So good deal. So thanks for coming
Yeah,
on. We
no
appreciate
problem.
you appreciate you being with us, and I think maybe we're going to do one more break, and then are you going to?
Yeah, let's just go to the playoff bracket as we transition to D2 bracket, and then again, if you guys have any questions, want to tweet to us, use the hashtag up there, Prep Huddle Live, or hashtag Striv Sports, or tweet at Striv Sports. And Tony's going to give us some predictions. I'm going to put him on the spot, and he's going to give us who he thinks is going to be in the finals with each class. Since we're kind of running ahead of schedule here, about 8 minutes till Husker game time, and we'll cut off. And so we'll be right back. Don't go away.
All right, we are back, and we're going to run through the D2 bracket really quick. We apologize that we didn't have a chance to get it into our format here, but the East bracket includes 2 Striv schools, and the whole bracket actually includes 2 Striv schools. So we have Exeter Milligan is the top seed, and they are number 1 in class D2. they'll host Red Cloud. And I'll just quickly go through this, but the east side is loaded. Actually, take that back. Exeter Milligan is ranked second right now. Stewart is number 1 at 8-0. They're the 2 seed, and they will face Striv School Osceola in the first round on Friday. But you go all the way down to 2 weeks ago, Fall City Sacred Heart was number 1 in the state, and they're the 7th seed on this east side of the bracket. So a lot of good teams here. And thanks, Taylor, for pointing out Meridian, also Striv School. They'll travel on Thursday, and they will play Kennesaw in round 1. So what the heck? I'm just going to dive right into my predictions with D2, if you're okay with that. So I really like this bracket, this top quarter of this bracket. I see Exeter Milligan and Humphrey St. Francis and Giltner. I think any of those teams could advance to Lincoln. I just like the experience of Exeter Milligan and the way they're able to run the football. And I'm going to pick them in the finals. I'm going to pick them to beat Stewart down here on this side of the bracket. And this would be a doozy right here. Stewart Fall City Sacred Heart will be a rematch of last year's state championship game. So that should be interesting. So we're going to say that Exeter Milligan survives this loaded East bracket. And then if we could scroll down maybe to the west side, I really wish I could tell you I knew a lot about these teams out west. One thing I do know is Anselmo Myrna has two really kind of talented backs. So I like them probably to get they'll get all the way here. And Maxwell and Garden County both play really good playoff football. So I expect Maxwell and Garden County will play here, and the home team would probably have an edge. But I'm gonna take Anselmo Myrna. I'll go chalk here and take both the 1 seeds to advance to the finals in Lincoln, and then I'm gonna take Exeter Milligan to win Class D2, and I guess not necessarily repeat because they won D1 last year. Yep. But we'll take Exeter Milligan to win Class D2. So let's swing over to let's do D1. Let's just leave it here. We'll do the West, and then we'll do the East. Okay. I don't see anybody on this side of the bracket that plays with Creighton. So we're gonna put Creighton into the West bracket final, and I'm really torn here between Hemingford and go back to the West bracket if you could. I'm sorry. Yep. Hemingford and Fullerton in this game, which would I guess in theory be a round of 8 games, so a quarter final game, and you just don't know how the brackets are going to play out. I would go with the home team here. Of course, Hemingford advanced to the finals last year, lost to Exeter Milligan. They didn't really lose anybody off that team. So I'm gonna actually have probably Coach Houghton punch me or maybe put me on the bulletin board in Fullerton. But I'm going to take Hemingford and Creighton in the West bracket final, and I'm actually going to pick Creighton to win the West. Gosh, I picked 3 number 1 seeds. That's never how I do my NCAA bracket. So I'm going to have to find some upsets here. So let's go to the East. This will be where my upset is, I guess. So I'm gonna this side of the bracket blows my mind, and I'm gonna do some upsets here. So I'm gonna take High Plains to beat Diller Odell, and then I'm also gonna take High Plains to beat Friend as they would host that game. That game would be in Clark. So we're gonna put High Plains, and what I'm gonna do is put Guardian Angels Central Catholic down here. So I have a rematch of the week 1 game that Guardian Angels Central Catholic and High Plains played that I think was like 42-36, something close there. So we're going to assume we go chalk here, and that Guardian Angels Central Catholic would be the road team and beat Howells Dodge, and then they would host High Plains. So we're going to take Guardian Angels Central Catholic on this side, and then I'm just going to throw it all out there, and we'll take Heartland and BDS into the quarterfinals here, and I'll take Heartland to win that game. And so I've got a rematch of round 1 last year, Heartland and Guardian Angels Central Catholic in the East bracket final, and I'll take the Huskies to get revenge, and we will put Heartland and Creighton in the finals of D1. and picked your poison there. 2 Striv schools. We would love that. We would love that game, wouldn't we? So, give me the Huskies to win D1.
All right.
Else they'll probably run me out of town here before I leave. So now we don't have to switch brackets. We can go to C2. Everybody's on one bracket. The east side of this bracket really intrigues me. I'm gonna go Battle Creek into the semifinals on this side, and I'm gonna actually take David City Aquinas to beat Hastings St. Cecilia, and I'll take Battle Creek in the finals on this side. And I love a team that can run the football, so I'll take Sutton and North Platte St. Pat's on the other side. I like the idea of Sutton possibly hosting that semifinal game if they were to travel to Freeman in the second round. So I'll take Sutton and Battle Creek in the finals in C2, and that kind of feels like 1988 or something, 1989, 1990. But I'm going to take I will take Battle Creek to beat Sutton in the finals in C2. I'll run over here and do C1 real quick, Taylor. That's okay. Okay, in C1, am I butting up against the Huskers? In C1, I'm going to take Ashland Greenwood to beat Cozad in the finals rematch on the left-hand side of the bracket. And on the right-hand side of the bracket, I'm going to take Boone Central Newman Grove, and I'm going to take them probably to beat SCOTUS in a rematch of their week one game. And then I will take Boone Central Newman Grove to beat Ashland Greenwood in the state finals in C1. And then if we want to go to B, B really quick, again, wide open. I don't really have any idea what's going on here. I'm going to take Scott in this top half. I think Scott beats Waverly and Seward beats Sydney, and then Scott hosts that game, so I'm going to take them into the semifinals. I'm actually going to take Aurora to upset Scotts Bluff here. I say they take care of the football and beat Scotts Bluff. Elkhorn South beats Beatrice, so Aurora hosts that game. But give me Elkhorn South and Omaha Scott here. And I like Scott to win that game and get into the finals again. And then over here, this one I have a hard time. I'm going to have Creed and McCook in this game, and then McCook would host that game. So I'll run McCook to the semifinals on this side, and then up here, Many Christmas, York could lose. I mean, what I really think here is I think the winner of this game makes it to the semifinals. So I'm gonna pick York to beat Elkhorn, and I think and I just think with Gretna's quarterback issues, I'm gonna go York and McCook to play in the semifinals there. Give me a rematch of last year's state championship game. I'll take Omaha Scott and York in the state finals, and I will take Scott to win that game again. And then in A, you don't even have to bring it up. I'm just gonna I'll take Omaha North and Millard North in the finals there. I like probably Grand Island to play Omaha North again in the semifinals, and probably Creighton Prep. In all the mess that is A, I would take the top 4 seeds into the semifinals, and I'm going to take Millard North though to beat Omaha North, to upset Omaha North, if you want to call it that. I'll take Millard North to beat Omaha North in the Class A finals. How was I fast enough? How did I do?
Yeah, Husker game has started. My mic isn't working.
Awesome.
So Tony's going to close up the show.
I'm going to close up the show. Okay. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We were a little over an hour. And now you can't. There you go. Here I am, and I'm not Taylor Siebert, but I can be if you want me to. So
we're having fun now.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's here, so we're having a good time. We're going to have playoff coverage of all the rounds as long as the teams are going. We think they're going to go a long way. We've got a neat concept that we hope we're going to be able to share over the next 4 weeks called a playoff journey. We won't really be streaming, obviously, any of these games because of the NSAA contract, but we hope to get in some locker rooms and take some tours of some of our towns and see what the playoffs are all about and share those videos with you guys. And so we appreciate all the support we've had during the year on the show and people watching the games. And I'll kick it to you for any final thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and want to thank, we didn't have a commercial made up for them, but a sponsor of ours, another one is Front Runner Fab out of Fullerton. If you need new stadium seating for your school, give them a buzz. Their ad is above here, rotating with Cornerstone Bank, who's a huge sponsor for us. Can't thank them enough for the stuff that, what the sponsorship that they allow us to do, the things that we do for schools in Nebraska. And go Huskers!
Awesome.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, man. Had fun.